Hi, and welcome to a very special episode of EDM Matters. It has been 1 month since the murder of George Floyd at the hands of the Minneapolis Police Department, the ensuing Black Lives Matter protests, and all the while cops continue to kill black men and women, have rocked our nation. Change at a systemic level has started, but there's still so much more we can do. Today on the show, we have Kaleena Zanders. Hi, Kaleena. We also have Maine, aka Blackjack, and half of the hip-hop duo The Runners. How are you guys today?
I'm blessed, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you, Kaleena?
Doing very well.
Good. I see you have your cat with you.
My cat, he's my emotional support.
That's fantastic. So,
What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name?
Roman.
Roman.
Yeah.
Good name.
He's very sweet. He has amazing fur, and he keeps me calm.
That's fantastic. So I know today's conversation is going to get a little heavy, especially on the 1 month anniversary of George Floyd's murder, which I think it's worth mentioning. None of us actually planned. It just kind of happened that way. But the first question for you guys is a bit of a broad one. What sorts of changes have you seen in the past month that acknowledge and attempt to reform the systemic racism in the music industry?
I've seen a lot of like online recognition. A lot more people kind of friends and musicians that have like I have some cool write-ups happen, and a lot of like just like more visibility, which is really good. Just because, I mean, that's what's necessary, visibility, and like A-Track, he like put on his Instagram that, that he makes and out is from Black people. And I thought that was really nice. And he's like, I make my money basically off of Black music. And then a lot of other DJs kind of follow suit, Sunburn. Like, I think that's really, really important for people to see.
Absolutely, yeah. That was one of the kind of image macros that I saw going around, was that, hip hop is from Black culture, techno is from Black culture, EDM as a whole is from Black culture. And I also want to get your opinion, because a lot of people sort of took, I don't know if it's right to say it, took offense at it, but they at least didn't acknowledge that it was important. They were saying things like, well, why do we have to like think about, do I have to like go to a show and think, oh, Black people made this music every time I go to the show? And I think it was a reductive answer. It's not so much that you think about it every time you hear the music. It's just knowledge of the history is important.
Yeah, it's very important.
My biggest issue is that I would just hate to see that, all of these changes just fade away once time passes. You know what I'm saying? That's just my main issue. That's my main focus. I appreciate the recognition of everybody trying to say, oh, this guy created this and he was Black and this, but the real change that needs to happen is really deep rooted in this country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of consistent work for this change to really, you know what I'm saying, make this country better for the next generation of Black kids and girls and boys, and so, but that's my only worry.
People do need to know where the music comes from, absolutely, because things like country music and rock and roll, those came from Black people too. So it's like people definitely need to know, because when you have groups like what happened with what's his name, the old guy, Lil Nas, like he got kicked out of a country category when it's like a Black person started it, so a country and rock and roll. So how can you kick him out of something that he's a part of? That, to me, yes, people definitely need to know where this stuff started, so we don't get kicked out of our own, like, our own group of people, like our own, pioneers of something, so it's just like, absolutely. I don't know, it's ridiculous. And yes, if you have to think of a Black person for a while, every single time, you're in a club and that techno beat came from, someone out of Chicago and Detroit, then like, so be it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not going to really affect like your experience as a whole. I mean, you're still going to be out there drunk and high and whatever, all the things, but people should know that it comes from this so that we're not, on the outside of it.
Absolutely. And there's a whole, going back to what Maine said about, making sure that these things stick, it gets back to the idea of these issues being systemic and coming from years, decades and decades of people erasing Black influence and Black culture from this industry. And yeah, I think making sure that it sticks is going to be something that I guess as a white person, it's going to be something that we have to consistently keep on our minds because we're so not used to it. But a change in thinking like that is going to be a good thing for everyone.
Yeah.
Necessary for sure, especially and for playlisting and all of it. Like, it needs to be diverse, and a lot of DJs that are like from have Armada and you have like CNN, and those are all like foreign labels, right? Or like there's kind of overseas, so even that's something that we have to make sure that people overseas have to understand as well.
Absolutely. And I think that a lot of people
whole other thing too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people overseas, they're not in it as much. Very Eurocentric countries like the Netherlands or Sweden, just like the percentage of Black people in those countries isn't as high as it is in the U.S., and they don't see those issues as prevalently. And even though they're not part of it, they're still part of the culture, and it still affects them just as much, and they have to be aware of it and stand up and represent the culture. When you guys were first, entering the music industry, who were you looking up to as Black figures to kind of emulate, or who had been successful? Who were you looking at as role models?
Well, I came in this through hip hop, so my idols were first Quincy Jones.
Oh yeah,
he's still my idol to this day. Dr. Dre, and then like some Southern producers. Manny Fresh at a time, because I just love how he came in the game and just brought his city, the sound of his city and his state, and he just made it worldwide, which is something that I down the line did for Miami. You know what I'm saying? And Neptunes, and that's basically it.
I saw on your Wikipedia page too for the runners, you were also influenced by Timbaland.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, Timbo the King. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. How about you,
Kaleena? My influences were Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah, Prince, Michael Jackson, and I don't know, so many, like a lot of classic rock. I feel like those are like my wheelhouse, and like when I draw inspiration or any type of, even if I'm singing, like over dance music, like I'm always drawing from old soul, especially Shaka Khan, because she's like my absolute favorite vocalist on the planet. And then also Jill Scott too. Jill Scott is another huge influence. Like I took music school, and my teacher used to be like, "Yo, can you stop mimicking Jill Scott all the time?" So like it was one of those things that like I was obsessed. So yeah, definitely from a vocalist perspective. And then I didn't do dance till 2015, so all of that just came into dance music, and so that's kind of like how I apply vocals and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that actually brings up a good question. Is like, you only did enter dance in 2015, but you're already, I mean, like, if I was speaking to one of my friends and I said Kaleena Zanders, they would know your name. You've already become like a bit of a well-known figure even in this short time, and I think that speaks a lot to how outspoken you are and how much you speak up for doing the right thing, especially in the past month.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I try. I think more so than it being about race in the past, I was just really keen on, I was new to the business, and already the singer and songwriter top liner are going to be the underdogs in a way.
Yeah.
So I definitely do have a fighting spirit. I'm very honest, and I just at the time just knew that I was just fighting because I wanted to be financially represented, right? You have DJs who like tour off of like literally singles that I've made, you know what I mean? Or any other like, underrepresented, vocalists. I'm just saying like a lot of times we make the songs, and which makes these DJs are able to tour, you know what I mean? And exactly, like have a very huge lifestyle. And then I'm still kind of like pick out the pieces and, like all those things. So, I mean, I've definitely fought in that scenario, just to be represented correctly, financially, and also just to be seen. And thankfully I've had the time, like, Sunburn and AC Slater and all these, like, a lot of wonderful people, Space Yacht, all have been homes for me to actually go to festivals and sing and all those things. So that also created some more visibility. And then now moving into race and I did, obviously I see I see my race and I see everything like happening, like leading up to it. But now I'm just like kind of like even mind blown even more, because I'm like, oh yeah, maybe because I really don't like to be the person that's like, oh, I didn't get this opportunity because of that. You know what I mean? But I do see how it is. Maybe sometimes a cute little white girl, you definitely might get a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, I know that could be a thing, but I've had such a great experience that it outshines a lot of any like discriminatory scenarios I might have been in, because I've had a really great time. But I definitely have had truths come to light during this time.
Absolutely. I think that's the case for a lot of people. Is it's given us a chance to look back and re-examine some old experiences and go, well, maybe that actually was influenced by prejudice or racism or sexism.
I mean, those are the kinds of things that need to happen. Like, continue. White artists need to have other Black artists on their bills. You know what I mean? They need to like, I don't know if they need to like alter their sets, but bring more. I don't know. I don't really know, because even that sounds kind of weird. It's like, bring your Black friends out and like do songs with them.
Performative.
Yeah, it could be, but it kind of needs to happen though, in order for the audiences to get used to it. And even going even further, even with women too, like there's a whole nother group of people, that were, oppressed in a lot of ways. So it's like, it's just like we have to like, maybe big DJs need to do collabs with, the equal, and, or maybe if it's a bigger DJ than the Black person, then maybe they need to be like, put that person first on the bill and Spotify, and then put their name with, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just needs to, like, visually, we need to like recreate that, like, we need to recreate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what we're doing here as well, just having the discussion in the first place, is a fantastic, first step.
Yeah. Literally, it's all because we're all visual, and we all like have, we remember images. And so those are we have to change imagery.
Absolutely. Yeah. Maine, you guys, as Blackjack, before COVID, before George Floyd, had you guys had a chance to play festivals, be on lineups, play shows yet, or was that sort of?
Yeah, man, we had just came off a 2-month run, a tour in the U.S., and it was great. And then we were gearing up for Miami Music Week. We had some big things planned
before that got
canceled. Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, while you were on the road, I know this might be a little bit of a difficult question to answer, and if you don't want to.
How many black people did I see at my shows?
Or I mean, like, even like as a Black artist, how were you treated by promoters? Did you notice any differences between you and like maybe a white supporter or another headliner?
Uh, nah, not really, man. Um, nah, not really. Like if any, I probably didn't notice it because we're so used to it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's
Oh well.
just
Yeah.
that's just how we operate. You feel me? And as long as it's not stopping me from what I came to do, then I don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? And unless it's not voiced to my face like a man, we don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't feel anything. I didn't see anything. The only thing I remember doing is at each show I would find my people, and it might be one or two or three or four. I would find them just so they can understand that I'm you up here doing what our people say that we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't be rocking in the club. They say that's white people music. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting them know that I'm up here representing you, and I'm doing it in a way that's blending. You know what I'm saying? The hood, and I'm blending everything together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I find joy in that. You know what I mean? I find so much pleasure in that because I represent you up here. I'm bringing our culture into their culture and mixing it together. You know
I
what I'm
love
saying?
that. Yeah.
Well, it's really not their culture, but you know what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's considered. It's considered like
Yeah.
the white people's culture is EDM and let's go rave.
Yeah.
But
Nightclubs and Plur and Candy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So hey, if it's all about Plur, then we all together need to represent and come together and party hard together.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that I bring up Plur, like so much of it is about unity and respect, and I
Right.
feel like as time has gone on, the like actual principles of Plur like haven't applied as much as they used to, and
Mm,
maybe it's time to bring that back.
yeah, for sure.
Well, can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like the dance community is way more embracing and encompassing than a lot of other industries within the music industry. Just because, it's built off of this wonderful Plur festival, a lot of love. And I think the fans are always down. They're always down to like receive because it's also like there's only like, maybe like six, 5 to 6 genres that get played at a festival.
Yeah.
And then like if that person, it doesn't matter what skin color, really is for on the fan experience. They're just like, if you can make somebody just whoo, they love you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
make them feel
Yeah.
something. It's incredible. I think yeah, it will come from the internal industry, the managers, the agents, all of that. That's where the change needs to happen. But the fans, of course, put more Black people as long as they're playing that whatever that they love, like they love you, So
Absolutely.
I think this community is wonderful and it's a great like launching pad for more visibility, And now that more, there are also more women being put in, Ducky and
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many women. They're like even kids. I see them. I go to these shows and I'm like, dude, they just love it, So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who's the face, really. Yeah.
And honestly, like the women that I see at the shows, like the performers have usually more energy than the guys on stage.
Yeah,
They go hard.
yeah. Yeah.
They go
Yeah.
hard.
You bring up Ducky too. Like I've seen her a number of times, and like always goes the absolute hardest she can. Which is
She's great. Yeah.
That's interesting, bro, because I guess we're the minority. You know what I'm saying? It's females being behind those decks. The same as like a black dude that's rocking. It's kind of the minority in this situation at these festivals or behind the decks. Playing this type of music, and I go hard because I want them to remember that
Mhm.
I go super hard.
yeah,
I just don't want you to forget. So the fact that you say like whipped cream, she goes hard.
oh,
Yeah.
Allison, they go hard. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I definitely understand that the reason of like the feeling of why you have to go hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like the people watching feel like they have something to prove, which it's their own kind of prejudice they put on the performer. Like when women first, started putting out not first started, but like when a woman puts out a piece of music, there are men who go like, all right, well, who ghost produced this? Like, there's always that,
yeah.
there's always that extra level of like that extra bar that like black people, women like always have to jump over, and I think we're gonna start to see that bar going away. We're gonna start to see women and people of color at face value and be like, all right, this is a dope track. This is their track. Like, done with it. Cool.
Yeah. I question it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask one final question, and we sort of already touched on this, but how can the music industry do better? Like, what do you want to see happen? Like, we've already talked about representation. We've talked about, just getting women and black people in front of the faces of audiences, but like at a systemic level, whether it's like the agents, the managers, like what do you think we can do better? What do you want to see?
Well, we have to remember, right? Still the music business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't care if you're black or white, or if I was an agent, I wouldn't care if you were black, white, yellow, brown, or a marshmallow. As long as you're selling tickets and as long as you're making me money, then you're okay with me, right? That's just me thinking, right? So I feel like it starts first as black people should be like, should be supporting each other. You know what I'm saying? Let's force their hand. Let's make each other hot. You know what I'm saying? As a community, us as black people as a community, let's make each other hot. So therefore we're in demand. You know what I mean? Because we just can't you got Marshmallow, you got Marshmallow headlining, and you got this person headlining, and we just can't stick a random black person in there just because he's black and he's not selling tickets. That's just not how the business works.
Yeah.
So we have to force that demand and support each other. Simple as that. That's where I feel it should start, and then it starts until we need to have more black agents, because I'm not sure if I know one black agent out there in the game that's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Can you help me out, Matt? Fill me in, Matt. Let me know.
Not really.
Not really.
When I could see
feel me?
him, I don't know his name.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like one or two out there. I can't think of them. I don't know if I've met them in person. If I have, I apologize. But
right, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
if we're gonna meet in the future, but
yeah,
we need more power players, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More diverse power players that's calling these shots. But again, like I said, I feel like it starts with our community first, and because we have to make each other hot. You feel me?
Yeah.
We have to be a hot commodity. You have to earn money.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of both, because I think it's going to take, the white agents and managers taking on that too. I'm just saying all of it, cover every basis, but like it's going to take that white manager, that the agent that takes on an artist that they want to make great. You know what I mean? Like, all of these DJs who are really, really, their people want to make them great, and that's what needs to. And they have from their visuals, everything is locked in and dialed in. Like their the way they talk and move, and their brand and Instagram, Twitter. It's like all those things. Like we can't just be like, oh, cool, it's black artist. Yeah, I'm his manager, but like I don't do anything. It has to be like, where you guys are helping to make this experience for this person and make them experience in the culture, and kind of like not see the person as like color, but that you just want to make them great. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right.
I see so many. It even happens with me sometimes too, because like I'm very independent, I'm very strong, and I'm very like, I'm a quick thinker, things like that. But sometimes I'm hard to help. You know what I mean? But like it just takes like, and I know that people are like, oh, she's got it, she's gonna do it. Yeah. I'm like, I know I help, even though I am like strong and vocal. I have so many blind spots. So it's like things like that. Like it take Black people are very strong, all those things, but don't gotta walk together and help, the vision, and not be like, oh my God, a strong Black woman, cool. Like, it's like, I'm so done with that. I'm like, yeah, I'm a strong Black woman, but I don't know anything too.
Right, yeah. I need the same help as everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think needs to happen for the industry as a whole, and really, build up Black people, like that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I can't say I appreciate it enough. It's been an honor speaking with both of you, and I hope that those of you watching have learned something as well. I hope you take the lessons you learned here and apply it to your lives and to the next show you go to, asking questions, being critical of where the music comes from, and where it's going in the future. I'm Matt Meadow. We have Maine of Blackjack and Kaleena Zanders. Thank you guys so much again.
Thank you.
We will see you next time.